Hello there fellow model makers, and welcome to the fourth and last part of my Tamiya 148 scale Spitfire Mark 1 build. Last time we completed the basic paint job and we are now ready to start weathering. I start with Flory Model's black weathering wash. I usually go with an oil wash, but I have had this Flory Model wash lying around for some time and decided to use it. These washes, I believe, are clay based and fairly easy to use. I just take a brush and apply the wash liberally. Once the wash was dry, I used a paper towel and a Q-tip moistened with water to remove the wash. The wash brings out the details nicely, and now I start on the underside of the kit. I will be using these three paints: AK's Light Rust, MIG's Earth Brown, and Satin Black. I start with the Light Rust, which I spray on in very light coats. I build up the streaks in areas around the wheel bay, air intakes, as well as the central fuselage. To highlight specific panels, I mask off their leading edges and spray on the streaking. The process is repeated with light brown. I keep building on the areas I had earlier applied the light rust on. The effect is completed with very light layers of satin black sprayed inside the earlier paints. I will further build on the streaking effect using AK enamels. I am using engine grime, engine wash, and kerosene stains. The same can be done using oils. I just apply the three enamels in areas where I feel there may be a buildup of grime. I use the three washes randomly, just to mix things up. Once the washes were dry, I used a flat brush dipped in odorless spirit to pull the streaks. Next, I used my soft pastels, and using the black, I made smoke streaks around the guns. I wanted to show that the paint around the wing root was a little faded, and to do this, I used yellow and brown oil paints. These were applied in the area and then blended. The process was repeated till I was satisfied. To add smoke stains to the exhaust, I used XF19 smoke. The oil paints around the wing roots were allowed to dry for a day. I liked the oil effect, but wanted to add to it. So, using some sienna earth pigment, I added another layer to the effect. The aircraft was now given a coat of matte varnish. While the varnish was drying, I assembled the propeller, which was rather straightforward. The tips were painted yellow and masked. The rest of the propeller and spinner were then painted with black. It was time to put together the wheels, which were first painted with aluminium. The tires were then hand painted with rubber black from Tamiya. The exhausts were painted with MIG's jet exhaust burnt iron a color that I recently discovered and really like. Right, for some time now I wanted to try and do some chipping with watercolor pencils. It is a fairly popular technique and I thought I must also give it a try. I start off with the light brown pencil to do some chipping on the brown camo scheme. However, no matter how hard I tried, I could not get the paint from the pencil to stick. I then decided to try with the metallic pencil. Surprisingly, the metallic pencil behaved very differently, and I was able to add very fine chipping to the wing root areas. I guess I will have to experiment with different makes of watercolor pencils and identify the ones that work best. I next used AK Interactive's sand yellow deposit to add some mud splatter around the wheel wells as well as on the undercarriage assembly. Now to my favorite part of the build, unmasking the canopy. I used the sponge technique to add chipping to the propeller. Tamiya offers you the option of using polycaps so that you can later adjust the propeller, but I just glued it in place. I will be using this 48 scale rigging from Infini models for the antenna wire. It was difficult to glue the side wires in cleanly, since there is no support on the side of the fuselage to act as an anchoring point. So, I drilled very fine holes on the side and fixed the wire there. This works just fine, as the holes are practically invisible once the rigging thread has been glued in. Also, it is a lot cleaner finish than trying to glue the rigging to the side directly. Tamiya also gave these stickers to be glued in on the side of the canopy. But honestly, I did not like it one bit. It was oversized and looked horribly out of place, so I just removed it. Well then, fellow model makers, here it is, my take on Tamiya's recently released 148 scale Spitfire Mark 1. It is an excellent kit with some very unique features and I suggest you give it a try. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video series. Please do like and subscribe. Till next time, good luck and happy model making.